Hey, greetings, and thanks for being back for volume 2 of My Prostate is Trying to Kill Me. I'm Mark Graves, just a regular guy fighting prostate cancer, and I'm going to record videos and talk about it, share my experiences, and hopefully you guys will get some information out of it, and maybe be a little uplifted, a little inspired, and maybe, laugh a little too. Um, Good day today. I woke up this morning and had enough energy, took a shower, put my new toilet seat on, and it's amazing as I get older, the little things that I get excited by. But I had some curling iron burns on the back of the old one, which I don't know how they got there. And so I got the new one today, and it's cool because it's one of those ones where no matter how you let go of it, it comes down slowly and it just drops. So, like an idiot, I stood there for 5 minutes playing with the toilet seat. Just, how hard can I push it and will it go down? But it just comes down nice and slow every single time. So no more slamming the toilet seat, no more noise. Like I said, it's the little things in life that make me happy now. But at any rate, just a couple of things that we'll be talking about, a couple of terminologies to get into this, and I'll explain them now. PSA is one of them. That's a blood test that's done, and it checks the prostate-specific antigen, is what that stands for. And normally 4 and below is a good rate to be in. The other terminology that we'll be talking about is RDE, and that's a rectal digital exam. I know it's even hard to say, and I've had quite a few of them. That's the one that guys don't really care for too much, or most guys anyways. But nothing to fear. It's not extremely uncomfortable. It's interesting how it's administered differently. A couple of my doctors are younger, much younger than I am, and they prefer for me to lay on my side and do it in the fetal position. Tuck your knees up and nice and safe and comfortable. One of my doctors is my age or maybe a little bit older, and he's old school. He's grabbed that table and bend over. So hard to say which one. I don't know that there's a better or a worse, or if I have, I don't know, a favorite or not. There's just nothing in me that says I want to have a favorite way of having somebody put their finger in my butt. I'm sorry, but yeah, it is what it is. It's just part of the testing that has to go along. So anyways, talking about the PSA, that's done by a blood test, and they read that, and the higher the PSA goes, the more that something is suspicious about your prostate. So you want to keep it below 4. Well, when I went in for, and I apologize for the reflection on my glasses here because of the lights, but when I went in for my annual physical back in 2017, I was at a 3.7 on my PSA, which is fine. And then 2018, it went up a little bit to 4.0, so I was right on the cusp of it being okay and not being okay. Then when I went back in for my annual physical in 2019, the doctor did the digital rectal DRE on me, and wasn't happy with what he felt. It was enlarged the last couple of years, but evidently it got quite a bit bigger. And he said that he felt something nefarious, which, come to find out later, is the word that your doctor uses when he thinks you have cancer, but he can't tell you have cancer. So nefarious. And so he suggested, let's get another PSA, take a look at it, and see what's up. So that was April 8th of 2019, and I had gone from 4.0 to 11.7. So pretty good jump on that one, which is never a good thing. Then he said, let's check it again in 2 weeks. So we checked it again in 2 weeks, 13.3. So during the visit, when he found out that it was 11.7, or actually, I'm sorry, back up. During the visit, when he felt my prostate and thought that there was something nefarious going on, he said, let's make an appointment with a urologist. And so I did, and I already have a urologist, but it was going to take maybe about 6 weeks to get in there. So made the appointment to go see him, and then I was back to see my primary care physician with the results of the PSA. And combining that with what he felt, he was not happy. He says, you know what, if you can get in to see him sooner, let's go ahead and do that. So I said, okay. And, the C word hadn't come up yet, so I really wasn't getting freaked out about it or anything. And also, too, I had other issues I was dealing with, and that was with my bladder. So to bring you up to speed on what was going on with that, I've always had a small bladder. It's just always been something I've had to deal with. When I go to car shows in other states and I'm driving with my buddies, about every 20 minutes I got to stop. So I've always taken a bunch of teasing about that. It's always been difficult. I can't sit through a long movie without getting up and going to the pee. how it goes. I got to pull over the side of the road, and it's always been frustrating. So at a certain point there, after that physical with my doctor, it started to get a little worse, and just to jump forward, it got to what I call my zombie phase, and that's where my buddies would call and say, "Hey, you want to go lunch?" I'm like, you know what? I'm making an excuse why I can't leave the house. I got something going on. When in reality, I just didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to be away from the bowl because I had to pee all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The urge was just crazy. The kind of urge you get when you're on the freeway and you've had that 32-ounce soda, plus you had 2 cups of coffee and you got to go. That was my life. That's how I felt 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I could only get a small amount of urine out. It wouldn't work. And the only way I could do that was to go in the bathroom and, hands up against the wall, lean over the bowl and push and get very little out of there. So you can see where this is going. I was not emptying my bladder as much as I needed to. So started that vicious cycle. It just kept going and going and going. So jumping forward again to the last week of dealing with this is that I was sleeping about 10 minutes and then the urge would be so bad I couldn't help it. I'd go up, run to the can, get out what I could. Then I go back to the kitchen and I get a drink because I was dying of thirst. And then go back, lay down, 10 minutes, get up, go pee, get something to drink, go back to bed, 10 minutes. That became my life for almost a week. That's all I did, 24 hours a day, is just kept doing that cycle. Hence, no sleep. So went into sleep deprivation, going into that zombie state. People would text me, I would answer my texts, and to me it made perfect sense. They couldn't tell what I was saying. It was all gibberish. Thank goodness I wasn't trying to drive. I wasn't doing anything because my brain was still telling me I was fine. You're good. Everything seemed okay to me, but things were not good. So at the end of that, I got a chance to go see my urologist, and they do the little scan on your abdomen when you get there on your bladder. And then he came in and talked to me. He says, well, let me explain to you how it works. He says, the normal bladder, he says, if you have 100 milliliters in there, you got to go to the restroom. If you have 200 milliliters in there, you start looking for a place to pull off the freeway. And he says, 300 milliliters, you're going to pop over and have to pee on the side of the road, water a cactus. He says, you're sitting here right now talking to me, and you've got 600 milliliters sitting in there. And he says, you don't even seem, like you're in any kind of discomfort. And I said, well, I guess I've gotten used to it. That's just how my life is right now. So he said, okay. And at this point, he didn't even examine me as far as doing the prostate exam. He just went ahead and set up a date for my biopsy, which was going to be in a couple of weeks, and then sent me along my way. And I was on Flomax at the time to try and help me with the urination to see if that would drain the bladder at all. And so then things didn't improve a whole lot. And we'll continue on with the story tomorrow on how the kidneys got involved with the bladder, and it's just kind of a mess. But at any rate, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much for stopping in for Volume 2. If you want to take this journey with me, click on the subscribe button below and the notification. You'll know when I put up the next video. If you liked it, thumbs up on it. If you didn't, thumbs down. Either way is fine. But if you want to leave questions or comments in there, that would be great. And I just want you to have a great day and enjoy the trip with me if you would. So be good to each other, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.